Those are very useful for people who are currently working in the industry, but they simply don't have the qualification. If you don't have the qualification, you can't really do it. Welcome to part 3 of the Construction Worker Migration to Australia series. So in this video, I'm going to have a very deep dive on how to become a construction worker to participate. If you recall, if you haven't seen my first 2 videos, make sure you go back and have a look. In my first video, I talk about what are the trades occupation and what are the basic licensing requirement. Number 2, I talk about if you are a current construction worker, how do you migrate to Australia and what are the pathway that you can look into. Number 3, for this video, I'm going to talk about how to become one. Without further ado, let's get started. Hi, my name is Johnny. If this is the first time you come to my channel, welcome. And I'm a migration lawyer in Australia and I post daily content TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube shorts. I hope you have seen some of them. And I help migrants like you to get PR faster. If you're already a construction worker, make sure you check out part 2 of this series because it talks specifically about how to migrate as an existing construction worker. But if you want to get into the construction industry, this is how you can do it. Number 1, if you're just fresh out of uni or fresh out of high school, you can apply to study a trade certificate in Australia. It lasts for 2 years. You can apply for a student visa and then afterwards you go through a job-ready program. However, it is very important to remember student visa refusal rate for older applicants when they are trying to apply for a VET course and a trade certificate course to study in Australia is quite high. So it means that it's very easy to get your visa refused if you're older and if you have a higher qualification and you want to come to Australia to study a trade certificate. But if you just finished school or you haven't studied anything higher up, you can definitely come to Australia and study a trade certificate. The refusal rate, you should park it like 70, 80% or 60%. Depending on the college that you're going for and the country that you're from. So it really depends, and we certainly recommend you have more money parked in the bank. The more the merrier, and then you can apply to come to Australia. And if you successfully receive a student visa, then it's very easy for you to get through the course and then get an 18 months requirement, and then after that you can get through with ease. Very easy. If you're currently offshore and then you want to become a construction worker offshore, then apply here. Then remember, you got to go back to the part 2 of the video because you got to get through and have at least 6 years work experience if your course is deemed not a formal training. If you're going for the licensed occupation, but if you're going for the non-licensed, then you need 5 years if you don't have formal training. But if you're formal training, there'll be 3. The easiest way that I also see a lot of people go for is maybe one of the spouse they're on 45 visas that last for 3 to 4 years. Then the other person who is currently in Australia, they can simply study a trade certificate because there's no genuine student test for them. So they can study a 2 years trade certificate and then get a professional skill assessment and participate in a job-ready program. The reason why they can't really go for the fast track one is because if they go through the fast track one, they don't get the professional skill assessment because it requires you to have a 2 years course. Fast track trade certificate that are available, maybe like 6 months. Those are very useful for people who are currently working in the industry, but they simply don't have the qualification. If you don't have the qualification, you can't really do it. So that's that. And then now, if you wanted to come to Australia to study, these are the targeted demographic that you can consider. If you're currently 18 to maybe under 30, like 18 to 25 years old, you've never done any higher education, then you show genuine interest to come to Australia to upskill. And also, most importantly, you are able to provide financial evidence to support yourself in Australia, then you can definitely come to Australia. There are a lot of people who come over and study trade course, and after they completed it, they can migrate. It's very easy to find a job, and the starting salary is pretty horrible, but once you get through the initial phase, then it goes exponential, especially for sparkies, for electricians, for plumbers, carpenters as well. So those are really good. As long as you're reliable and you're hardworking, you can earn a lot of money. But you just got to be very mindful because it's very hard to get a visa to come to here to study the student visa, to study these type of course. But if you are able to provide a really good genuine student statements, which we do all the time, then it will significantly improve your chance to get a permanent residence visa. The reason why I also push significantly on this particular industry is if you've been seeing all my videos, I never ask people to jump on any of the migration hype. I just don't think they work. Like for example, the diploma of nursing hype like a few years ago, everyone rushed to Adelaide and study that and they have no idea what that is and no one really get permanent residency afterwards. Also the early child education teacher, a lot of people got attracted because it's 65 points, but now it's 85 and it's tightening. So what's the point, right? But for this one, we do have a significant issues in the housing crisis. Number 1, the course is not expensive. Number 2, the housing crisis is national. So Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, those 3 states are particular, and also Perth, they have really, really good policies that target construction workers only. That means that this shortage is going to last for many years to come. So if you study it, I can't really guarantee no risk, but the risk of having a completely different policy shift, like healthcare, because now back then, as long as you're in healthcare, people want you, but now it's sort of less likely. But for when it comes to trade qualification, I see that it's going to be a long-term demand, because it's very hard to get a skill assessment as a trade person unless you get a student visa and you study for 2 years and go through a job ready program, or you have a partner and then you sit as a dependent and then you can get through with it on the job ready program, etc. So these are the stuff that you can definitely do. I hope it helps. If you got to this point, hit the subscribe button, like, share, and then pop a comment in the comment sections. And then if you want more of these type of videos, make sure you comment in this comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.